in effect until 7:45. So as we've been telling you, we've had our updates at the top of the hour, but also we had the potential of tornadoes in our area. We are definitely under a tornado watch, and some of these tornadoes can form up on these outer rain bands from Hurricane Ida. And in this particular case, we've got one down near Theodore and Highway 90, really between Irvington and Theodore. And it's going to be tracking up through the Dawes community here and moving up across Ben Hamilton Road and across Grand Bay Wilmer Road, and then eventually up towards Wilmer and Lucedale. Now, the National Weather Service out of New Orleans has not included this portion of Jackson County, Mississippi in it, and Hurley, but north and east of Hurley, go ahead and pretend like you are under a tornado warning as well, because that box should extend, but it's just really a procedural thing as to why that portion of the county is not included. All right, so our possible tornado is down here around Irvington and Highway 90. It's going to be crossing I-10, and then it's going to be crossing Old Pascagoula Road as it lifts to the north. This is the cell right here, which has prompted the tornado warning. And what we have right now, the National Weather Service radar out of Mobile is down. So we're sweeping this from the Slidell radar, and it's just far enough away that we can see it here. It looks like it's on the edge of our velocity, so we're kind of flying blind a little bit here. Jennifer's got it popped up, so our rotation area, that's going to be about as good as we can do with it this far away from the radar site. We've got it right here around the Irvington area. Let's zoom in a little tighter and we'll look at some streets. I believe this is going to be Ben Hamilton right here up near Dawes. There's Ben Hamilton Road right there, and this is Old Pascagoula Road. So this is going to be moving up just on the east side or very close to March Road, and this is McDonald Road right here. So McDonald Road is that extension just north of the old that new interchange on Interstate 10 where the pilot station is there, coming up on Irvington Bilo Battery Highway. Then you continue north up McDonald Road, and so we've got our rotation area is going to be pretty much right in here, and then that's going to track up towards Ben Hamilton and up towards Dawes Road, which I believe is right up here, a little further north than Ben Hamilton. We've got Ware Road right here, and then you get further along here and we're getting back up on 3 Notch. So there's Schillinger, and here it is with our possible tornado here, area of rotation coming up. Now, as we look at it, what's ahead for this would be potentially the Dawes area, and then once it gets up towards Jeff Hamilton, it will cross Airport, but it's going to be past Baker. So it's going to be out here near Seven Hills on Airport, really getting out here closer to Pace Nursery Road. Here's Newman Road right here, and we'll be seeing this continuing to track across a lot of these areas. So if I mention your road or your neighborhood, this is an area where we may be seeing one of these brief spin-up tornadoes on the outer rain bands of Ida coming through right now. We also are seeing an uptick in rainfall, and freshwater flooding is going to be another element to this that we're going to have to deal with tonight, overnight, and into tomorrow. Persistent bands of rain. We've got these new cells starting to come in. This is the one that's prompted the tornado warning here, and it's racing off towards the northwest. We're also seeing a new heavy cell coming in over, looks like Perdido Key, and also one here up in the Daphne Spanish Fort area. And all these will have to be monitored for rotation, as well as this one here near the Pascagoula area. And so we're looking at a northwesterly track that's going to be Moffett Road right here, and this is trying to move up across some of those areas I mentioned: Ben Hamilton, Jeff Hamilton, Dawes, 3 Notch, and then tracking further north. So looking at it now, Jennifer's running the radar right now, and I believe it's going to be right in through here where we have that rotation area. Look at it getting up here towards Calvert and Pace Nursery now, crossing Airport, and this is going to be on off to the west as you look, there's Flagstone and Hunter's Ridge, and so it's going to be coming through the Seven Hills area. There's Pace Nursery Road there, and here's Lena Road here too, and it may even come up a little bit through. It's going to be a little to the west of Novitan Road as it continues to track up on across this area. So we are looking at a possible rotation area that could have a tornado involved in the situation here. Coming across Airport Boulevard, it's going to be tracking up across Big Creek as it comes out of the bottom of Big Creek Lake, and then catching back up with the Grand Bay Wilmer Road as it continues on off towards the northwest. So pulling away from Johnson Road and Schmidt Lane and working back on off. Now, looking at it right now, a little still hard to pick it out right here, but we believe the possible tornado is going to be located right here, and it's going to move across Big Creek south of the Big Creek Lake Dam, or right near the Big Creek Lake Dam, and then continuing on up into George County. And let's get an update from meteorologist Jennifer Lambert. Jennifer, are you hearing anything from the National Weather Service on this possible tornado in Mobile County right now?
No updates from the National Weather Service, but when they first did issue this, one of the problems that we're running into again is that KMOB radar is currently down. They do have that order in for that part, but they're having to use other radars that are further away. So they found some structure on one of the radars, and then also some weak rotation on another, and so that's what prompted this warning. But I do want to go ahead and go back just to talk about where that warning is. In case you do lose us, we are live streaming on Facebook, so a lot of folks there just wanting to know where in Mobile County this is for. So anyone downtown, you are not included in this. Grand Bay, you're not. This is going to be including areas just near Theodore. This is where this originated. Dawes, anywhere west of Mobile Airport, all included in this tornado warning at this time. And even then, it's going to be extending further on into George County, Mississippi as well. So Big Creek Lake also included, extending up towards Wilmer and Agricola. So still a pretty large area that's included in this, but no updates. This is in effect until 7:45. And again, this was located 5 miles west of Theodore, moving northwest at 35 miles per hour. Jason.
All right, let's get back down to street level and show you again some of the areas that may be impacted by this rotation area, which, you know, it's very far away from the radar site, but following it, we believe it's going to be located right in through here on Jeff Hamilton Road and getting up and crossing Airport Boulevard. And this is way out Airport. Okay, this is out near Newman Road. We've got the lakes of Newman Road out here at Newman's Crossing, that area there, and maybe a little to the northeast of that out towards Pace Nursery and Calvert, and then that's going to pull it on up towards Big Creek as it moves on up in that direction there. So right now, a little hard to make it out, but looking at the core of where that storm-based warning is and where we picked up the rotation to begin with, we believe that this is going to be located on Airport Boulevard, west of Baker High School, somewhere out in the Seven Hills community here near Newman Crossing and Pace Nursery and Calvert. And then that's going to continue to track on up across and close to Tanner Williams. Tanner Williams is up here, and we think it will come across Tanner Williams about the point where it intersects with Grand Bay Wilmer based on that northwesterly track. This is the Big Creek Lake area right in through here, and then you get over on the western side of the lake, and that's going to pull it up through the Tanner Williams community as an area that may be possibly impacted. It may get us a little closer to that Slidell radar with this particular cell here too. So we are looking at some rotation coming up across very close to the Tanner Williams area, pulling away from Leroy Stevens. And again, this is kind of the edge of where we can see right in through here, and then beyond that, we're just outside the edge of the velocity product on the radar. But the tornado warning is still currently in effect, moving northwest at 35, a very, very fast forward speed on this rotation area, which is common with landfalling tropical systems. We can see these things moving very, very quickly. Right now, again, we believe somewhere up here in the Dawes community would be that rotation area. If you are west of Mobile Regional Airport in Mobile County, you may indeed have a tornado in this area. It is radar indicated. It's a little hard to see exactly where that is, but the bottom line is I would be treating it as if we've got a tornado going on in this area, and I try and get into an interior room, a hallway, or a closet away from windows on the lowest floor of your home. This is Tanner Williams Road. We've got Snow Road out through here, and we make it out to about Eliza Jordan Road, and then further on out towards Tanner Williams, and that rotation area should be working west of Snow out in the Tanner Williams area, and it's going to be continuing tracking northwest towards the community of Tanner Williams. So that's what we're seeing right now with this. If we widen out a little bit, I want to put the reflectivity on. That may help us pinpoint based on the structure of what we're seeing on radar here. We would have the tornado would be located at the base of this right here. Is this composite reflectivity, Jennifer? So if this is composite, it may be a little dated, but it gives us the idea that we have right in through here coming across, it looks like Ben Hamilton Road right there. That would be your possible tornado there. And again, if we're looking at it on the single sweep out of Slidell, it may advance this a little bit further than what we're seeing right now on the composite product. So the National Weather Service radar out of Mobile down cripples us a little bit in our ability to track this. Okay, this is a new image coming in. So what it's doing is it's telling us that the bottom end of this is going to be located pretty close to Airport Boulevard. So here's Johnson Road right here, and here's Newman Road, and I would expect that your rotation area is most likely going to be located right in through here in the Airport Boulevard area as it's tracking up towards Grand Bay Wilmer. So as Jennifer's rocking the radar there, we can see that northwesterly motion is going to be heading out towards the south end of Big Creek Lake, and your rotation is most likely going to be embedded in this right here. It's not the kind of situation where you'd have a tornado that you would be able to see. I wouldn't advise going out and looking for it. This could very easily be rain wrapped right now based on the high reflectivity that we're seeing in this area out towards Pace Nursery and Lena and Calvert, and then tracking from there on up at may even clip the far western end of Hampton Road as it gets a little further to the north there. So that's going to be coming down. That's the back end of Hampton right there, and then that'll bring it up towards the Big Creek area. There's Big Creek coming out of Big Creek Lake right there, and then after that it will get over onto Grand Bay Wilmer, and that'll happen over in the Tanner Williams community, we believe, with this rotation area. But again, it's a little bit hard to see. Overview on Ida to give you an update on that right now. It has winds of 120 sustained. The core of the storm is absolutely awful for the west side of New Orleans right now. We are looking at the pressure beginning to rise, but the problem is the motion has been more northerly than northwesterly, which has brought the core of the storm over Metairie, Laplace, and the west side of New Orleans, and that is putting persistent hurricane force winds in the metro area of New Orleans. A bad situation there. It will fare better for, it looks like, Baton Rouge with this, because it's going to track off to the east of Baton Rouge, and it looks like it's headed pretty much straight for Hammond with the core of the worst part of the storm. We do expect Ida to gradually weaken. The problem is we're out here on the outer edge of it where we are tornado prone, and that's not going to change between now and daybreak tomorrow morning. That's why we're remaining under a tornado watch all night tonight. And of course, we're going to keep a crew here overnight. We'll be here. I'll be here with Jennifer. Meteorologist Michael White will be in after midnight tonight too, and we're going to be watching all of this for you overnight. We're not going to let our guard down, because at any point in time we can go under these tornado warnings, and it's a very serious situation. The ingredients in the atmosphere are favorable for tornadic development. The other element to this for us is going to be persistent rainfall, to the point that we may start to see some significant flooding in our area, especially where some of these rain bands setting up persistently and training over the same areas. Into Perdido Bay right now, we've got a real heavy band there. We've got more out over the Gulf. It looks like the leading heaviest of the rain is going to be from about Pensacola back to the west. The further west you go, the higher the potential and the threat is for flash flooding in our area tonight, but the entire area is going to remain under a flash flood watch through overnight tonight and into tomorrow. It's very likely that as the wind field spreads out and as the westerly shear kicks in, that the precipitation shield will be more firmly placed over our area. As far as tropical storm force winds, it's really right on the edge of the area. George County has the potential of seeing that. Certainly Jackson County, Mississippi, see maybe a piece of Greene County, piece of Mobile County, and down towards Dauphin Island. We've seen some wind gusts to tropical storm force today, but we haven't seen a lot of really bad winds and a lot of widespread power outages. Our issue is going to be isolated tornadoes, flooding, and also coastal flooding. And right now, the tide's actually down. Low tide was at around 3 p.m. and we saw most of the tide gauges ticking down. Now some of those tide gauges are starting to tick back up. Back to our tornado warned storm to give you an update on what we're seeing there. It would be located here out into the Dawes community, working to the north and west at 35 miles an hour. That's a look at it there. And so the core of the storm is basically just south of Big Creek Lake right now. And this is the one that prompted the warning here. And we're seeing that storm there moving off to the northwest. And it looks like it could end up a little south of Wilmer. So what we're seeing now is that this should be out Tanner Williams here now pretty much at the base of Big Creek Lake, and it's going to go across where Tanner Williams intersects with Grand Bay Wilmer Road over the western side, the far western side of Mobile County, and pretty soon it's going to be up into George County. These are fast movers, these rain bands that wrap around. And so zooming in here, we've got the southern end of Hampton Road right there, and then over here we are a little bit further. This is Dykes Road here, which is on the west side of Big Creek, and then you got Tanner Williams right there, and this is Grand Bay Wilmer Road here. There's Frank Williams Road there. This is the cell that prompted the tornado warning, and where that rotation area is embedded in this is really hard to see. Let's go back over to the Velocity product and see if we can find that rotation area. We're just so far out on the edge of the sweep. Again, it's probably located right in here, but it does appear to be broad, but we're so far away from that radar site from the National Weather Service in New Orleans, it's really hard to see exactly where that might be. We're going back between storm relative velocity and velocity trying to find that. And Jennifer, are you seeing anything here at this point where we can make out where this is in relation to Grand Bay Wilmer Road?
I'm really not. I'm going to go ahead and back it up just a little bit. Sometimes this is the best way to find where some of that rotation was. You can see it just a little bit brighter on Irvington and Theodore there, just where that green and that red meets. But then once we get further up, I would put it just a little bit south of Big Creek Lake. Just zooming in closer, just near Tanner Williams Road, Grand Bay Wilmer Road, also Cemetery Road. So I've been seeing a lot of people ask who's out of this, who is cleared from this tornado warning, and that's going to be everyone behind this. So anywhere Tanner Williams Road to the northwest, so Big Creek Lake, Wilmer, Agricola still need to be on high alert, but anywhere just about south of Mobile Airport, so back towards Dawes, Theodore, you're still in this tornado warning. However, you are out of it pretty much at this time. They just haven't updated it to trim that off, but this tornado warning is still in effect until 7:45. Most likely we'll get an update here soon just to trim a lot of those areas out since it is so wide at this point, moving northwest at 35 miles per hour, moving pretty fast. But even if you're not included in this, you can get out of your safe space, but just keep that in mind heading further on into this evening. That tornado watch in effect until 6 a.m. So this is going to be including all of our areas. Even that tornado threat extends further into Monday afternoon. So our inland spots, while you might not see anything heading into this evening, that threat's going to be extending into tomorrow. So your Monday, higher chances for the inland areas to see some of those tornado threats too. So really a 24-hour thing that we need to be keeping a close eye on. Have that plan with your family, know where you're going to go. Always the bottom floor of your house, away from windows, exterior walls, pantry. I saw someone was in a closet. That's a great place to be. Just make sure it's not on an exterior wall or just away from some of those windows too. But zooming in closer, I would put this closer towards Big Creek Lake or Wilmer. And for anyone just now joining, just a reminder that we are having just a little bit of a difficult time placing this solely because that KMOB radar at Mobile Regional is currently down at this time. Hoping to get that up soon when they do get that part, hopefully soon.
Yeah, we're in a really little tight spot here where we're between two radars. We can just about see this from Eglin Air Force Base. We can just about see this from Slidell, but we're in that area where without the Mobile radar site, we're just not able to get the definition that we're accustomed to. And that's what you really need to be able to track these low top spin ups that happen with these tropical rain bands and the potential of tornadoes. So best guess right now from what we're seeing is that this is crossing Tanner Williams near Grand Bay Wilmer Road, and it's along the south end of Big Creek Lake, and it's tracking towards the northwest, which is going to bring it into George County. Let's go to Jennifer right now for an update. Jennifer?
Yeah, and so I did just get a new update from the National Weather Service. They are extending this tornado warning, but it is where we placed it at this time. They did put that possible tornado over Tanner Williams Road, or 16 miles northwest of Tillman's Corner, and moving even faster now at northwest at 45 miles per hour. So that current location that we are placing it is also where the National Weather Service is eyeing that area of rotation.
All right, so Tanner Williams at Grand Bay Wilmer, rotation right in through here. You've got the Tanner Williams community right here where it says Big Creek Lake. You know, you would think it would show up in blue right there, but because we've got the data over the top of it, you can't actually physically see the lake, but it's there. Goff Road is right there, and if you are not familiar with Big Creek Lake, that's our municipal water supply. You go over it on Highway 98 when you're traveling west between Sims and Wilmer, and we're looking at a possible rotation area located pretty close here to Cemetery Road and Mack Hinton Road. And then this is Grand Bay Wilmer Road going north. That is Randolph Foster Road, and it's getting real close now, we believe, to the Mississippi-Alabama line. And this is going to continue until 7:45. So very fast moving, 45-mile-per-hour speed now with this tornado warning. We just got an update from the National Weather Service. This is going to put this thing pretty much right in the community of Tanner Williams. We've got Old Tanner Williams Road, and then Grand Bay Wilmer Road, which comes up, hits Tanner Williams, and then you have to jog back to the east, and then it picks back up towards Wilmer there. Now, what's in the clear? Jennifer brought up a really good point there. And so the Dawes area and Seven Hills, it is now past you. The warning was including Theodore and Irvington. That's where the spin up originated. Dawes was included in that, but now we're seeing this thing really more up here right near Big Creek Lake, and we've got it in the Tanner Williams community. That's where we're pinpointing this rotation. So everything south of the white line that Jennifer just drew that's included in the red box is no longer under the tornado threat from what we're seeing right now. Of course, we're all under a tornado watch, so tornadoes can pop up at any time, and we are looking at that as a possibility for overnight tonight, but it's really the tornado warning that's currently in effect that is the problem, and not showing up real well with this cell right now on composite reflectivity here. This is the Tanner Williams area right there, and that is Grand Bay Wilmer Road leading north up towards Wilmer. And so our rotation area is moving really fast, and it's getting really close to the Mississippi-Alabama line, which is right through here. And actually there's a road that runs that line called State Line Road out there. And we've got Howell Tanner Chapel Road, if I can get it out right there. I'm real familiar with that one as well. Works its way to the north and leads back up towards Moffett Road. So we see this going across Randolph Foster Road. We've got State Line Road right there, and then we've got Howell Tanner Chapel Road right there, which starts up and comes off of the extension of off of State Line Road and leads to the north. It actually jogs a little bit northeast and then goes due north there. We've got Grand Bay Wilmer Road right here, and then this is the cell that prompted the warning again, moving northwest at about 45 miles an hour. One of the things that we noticed is that this rotation is really hard to see, and the cell that's prompted it is not showing a lot of red in color, so it's no surprise. You just got the word from meteorologist Jennifer Lambers that this warning has been canceled, so we are no longer, thankfully, under a tornado warning at this time, but we're likely to see more, and we'll have another update on Ida if we don't go under any more tornado warnings, and that's going to be at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. So tornado warning, Mobile County has been canceled, but we'll update you with more information here on Fox 10 News as we get it.